Alright, so I did some power rankings. It was actually pretty tough to place all these teams, and I vacillated back and forth between a lot of teams, figuring out where to place them, who to place ahead of who. But I did it 1 to 32. So the format for the video tonight is gonna be, I'll go through 32 to 23, and then I'll talk about that for a little bit, and then I'll do a little bit of ASMR, and then I'll do 22 to 13, talk about it a little bit, do a little bit of ASMR, and then I'll do the top 12 to 1, and talk about that for a little bit. So y'all have to let me know what you think about the list, and if you disagree with it, then tell me who you have, like what you would have differently and why. Alright. Okay, so starting off, we're gonna go from the bottom up, okay? 32 might as well be 50th. I got the New York Jets. I don't think anybody can argue with that. 32 is the New York Jets. 31, I've got the Jacksonville Jaguars. 30, I've got the Cincinnati Bengals. 29, I've got the Washington Football Team. 28, I've got the Philadelphia Eagles. 27, I've got the Dallas Cowboys. 26, I've got the Atlanta Falcons. 25, the Detroit Lions. 24, the Houston Texans. And 23, the New England Patriots. So I got Patriots at 23, Texans 24, Lions 25, Falcons 26, Cowboys 27, Eagles 28, Football Team 29, 30, Bengals 31, Jaguars 32, Jets. Alright, the bottom of this list shouldn't need too much of an explanation. The Jets, trash. The Jaguars are trash. The Bengals are trash. They at least had a bright spot in Joe Burrow, the rookie quarterback, before this week, but they couldn't even protect him. So that's it for Cincinnati. 29 and 28, Washington and Philly. Washington on their third quarterback. Okay, Dwayne Haskins, Kyle Allen, Alex Smith. Philly at 28 has been a disaster this season, and now rumblings of benching their $100 million quarterback. Okay, that's never good when you gotta talk about benching your $100 million quarterback for Jalen Hurts, who, by the way, hasn't looked good in the limited playing time that he's seen. Then at 27, I have the train wreck that is the Dallas Cowboys. They did get a win this week, but no Dak Prescott for them. Andy Dalton came back this week. Ezekiel Elliott had his first 100-yard rushing game of the season. Their defense is horrendous. I got Dallas at 27. Then I've got the Atlanta Falcons at 26th. I love blowing leads. Atlanta Falcons. It looked like they were picking up a little bit of steam since they fired their head coach and Raheem Morris took over. They won 3 out of 4, but returned from the bye week to lose to a Taysom Hill-led New Orleans Saints team. They just looked horrible. They can't protect Matt Ryan. The Falcons at 26, Detroit at 25. I think I've called for Matt Patricia's job multiple times this season. They're a disaster. And then that brings me to Houston at 24 and New England at 23, which, funnily enough, Houston just beat New England this week, but I think that New England obviously has the better coach, has better coaching, and that matters in this league. So I think that they're pretty close. You know, Chargers at 22 and the Broncos at 21. Could almost be flipped. The Chargers are like the mini Falcons, okay? About blowing leads and like losing close games. But I do love the way that Justin Herbert is balling out right now. And Denver got a big win in Miami this week, and their defense looked good. Drew Lock did not look good. So that 21 and 22, not great, obviously. But that win against Miami, I think, gave Denver the edge over the Chargers there. And the Giants then at 20. I think the Giants are going to win the NFC East. They're 3-3 in their last 6 games, and their losses have all been pretty close. So I think that they're playing the best in that division. And I got the G-Men at 20, and then 19, the Carolina Panthers. Okay, Teddy Two Gloves was injured this week, so was Christian McCaffrey. But they still managed to pitch a shutout and win this week, albeit it was against the Detroit Lions, but that still is a professional football team in the NFL. So who would have thought that PJ Walker from the XFL would lead the Panthers to victory last week? So I got the Panthers at 19, and then the Bears and the Vikings at 17 and 18. Again, could maybe be switched around. I put the Bears at 17 because their defense is solid. Their defense is solid, but their offense is not. So, I mean, Nick Foles, it's going to be a question of who's going to start this week if they're both healthy enough to. Nagy's got a decision to make between Mitchell Trubisky and Nick Foles. So either way, the offense is sputtering. And Minnesota lost to the Dallas Cowboys this week. So I think that kind of bumped them down a little bit. So I think had Minnesota beat Dallas like everybody thought that they would, they might have been bumped up even 2 spots to 16 for me. But as it stands, I've got them at 18, and then the Bears at 17, the Niners at 16. San Francisco still able to compete despite all the injuries. The only reason that the Niners are this low on the list is because half the squad is injured. Shanahan still has them competing, even with, the next man up mentality. So Niners at 16, and then again the Browns and Dolphins very close here at 14 and 15. I've got the Dolphins ahead of the Browns here, even though the Browns have a better record at 7 and 3, and the Dolphins are 6 and 4. But the Browns only have one quality win. All their wins have come against garbage teams, aside from the Indianapolis Colts. So they're 1 and 3 against teams with a winning record, and that one win was against the Colts. They got killed by the Ravens. They barely beat the Bengals. They beat Washington. They barely beat the Cowboys. The Cowboys almost came back against them. They beat the Colts. That was their good win. They got killed by the Steelers. They beat the Bengals by 3 again, like barely beat the Bengals. The Raiders beat them. And then they barely beat the Texans. And they barely beat the Eagles. So, although their record is 7 and 3, they haven't had many quality wins. Not that the Dolphins have like a ton of quality wins, but they did absolutely demolish the San Francisco 49ers, and they beat the Rams pretty handily. So I think that's a great win. They gave the Cardinals a good game, even though they lost. It was a bad loss this week against Denver. I think Denver kind of exposed their offensive line a little bit, but yeah, that's why I got Miami. Also, I'm a Dolphins fan, it's funny. My dad's a Browns fan, so I'm kind of like the Browns are kind of like my second team. But I don't know. They're 7-3, and I don't know that they're playoff ready. It's gonna be an interesting playoff race in the AFC for the last like 2 or 3 spots actually. It's gonna be pretty interesting. And then at 13, I've got the Las Vegas Raiders. Man, the Raiders were so hard to place for me. Just because, I mean, they beat the Chiefs once, and they gave them a great game. They almost beat the Chiefs twice. Almost. They beat the Saints. So good quality wins there. But then they get blown out by the Patriots by 16 points. Lose to the Patriots. Get blown out by Tampa Bay by 25. So it's just barely beat the Chargers, barely beat the Browns. You know, it's at times the Raiders look really, really, really good, and at times they don't. So tough to place Vegas, but good enough there to get the 13th spot for me, but not good enough to crack the top 10. number 7, the Indianapolis Colts. At number 6, the Green Bay Packers. At number 5, the Buffalo Bills. At number 4, the New Orleans Saints. At number 3, the Los Angeles Rams. At number 2, the Pittsburgh Steelers. And at number 1, the Kansas City Chiefs. Alright, so 1 Chiefs, 2 Steelers, 3 Rams, 4 Saints, 5 Bills, 6 Packers, 7 Colts, 8 Titans, 9 Bucks, 10 Cardinals, 11 Seahawks, 12 Ravens. I just noticed something about this list, and it's just funny the way it turned out because I've got the Patriots 1 spot ahead of the Texans, and the Texans beat the Patriots this week. I've got the Cardinals 1 spot ahead of the Seahawks, and the Seahawks beat the Cardinals this week. I've got the Packers, the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers is like the best ASMR team name to say, to hear. But I've got the Green Bay Packers 1 spot ahead of the Colts, and the Colts beat the Packers this week, so it's just funny the way that turned out. But anyways, the Ravens at 12, okay. Inconsistent. The Ravens have been inconsistent, and Lamar Jackson has not thrown the ball well at all this season. And their defense is banged up. The Baltimore defense is banged up and not looking that good. I think I talked about it in my recap that I think that they got a good chance to make the playoffs, but I don't see a deep playoff run for the Ravens. At number 12, 11, Seattle. 11 and 10, Seattle and Arizona. I really struggle with this one. 10 and 11 here because actually 9, 10, and 11, the Bucks, the Cardinals, and the Seahawks. At times I'll start with the Buccaneers actually. At times the Bucks look great, phenomenal. They're good on defense, and when they can protect Tom Brady, they're elite. They're an elite team. But when they cannot protect Tom Brady, they do not look good. They do not look good. So I think that, if the protection for Tom Brady was always really good, I think they could move up like 3 spots. And if the protection for Tom Brady was like always bad, I feel like they could move down like 5 spots. So I got them in there at 9. Just consistency. The defense is great. That defense in Tampa Bay is good, but offensively, they got some things to figure out. Okay, the Cardinals and Seahawks. I got the Seahawks at 11 because that defense is just, it's a liability. That defense is a liability. Now, they did enough to get the win against the Cardinals this week, but also had to factor in that Kyler Murray was not 100% in that game. He had a sprained AC joint in his shoulder early on in that game. So I got the edge to the Cardinals there at 10. And then, the problems, coming up with this list did not stop there. Okay, Packers at 6, Colts at 7, Titans at 8. Really, the Packers and the Colts. The Colts they've lost to the Browns and the Jaguars. The Jaguars' only win is against the Colts. Now, granted, it was week 1. Phillip Rivers, new quarterback, new system for that quarterback. But that defense is pretty legit in Indianapolis. They let Aaron Rodgers and the Packers stick around, and they almost got it in overtime. So I think that I like Aaron Rodgers better than Phillip Rivers. I don't know. I like that Green Bay Indy 6-7. It could be switched. I might, as I'm thinking about it right now, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave the Packers at 6 and the Colts at 7, and then the top 5. He's a brilliant play caller, and he has to be. I don't love Jared Goff. He's serviceable though. He's enough. He's good enough. He's good enough. And that defense, that Rams defense, that's the main reason why I've got him at 3. And it's definitely why I've got the Steelers at 2. I mean, the Steelers offense is good too. Ben Roethlisberger's got those receivers to throw it to, but man, that Steelers defense is stout, is tough. So I like both of those teams a lot. And then Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I like the Steelers defense and the Rams defense better than I like the Chiefs defense, but I like Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense better than the Steelers offense and the Rams offense. So that's why I got the top 3 there. Chiefs, Steelers, Rams, and then the Saints have been balling out on defense lately. Did not look great on defense early in the season. Now, like the last 3 games or so, picking it up, and even without Drew Brees, I got them in there at 4. Their schedule, the next couple games, is pretty easy. Before finishing out the season, a little bit tougher. Let me see exactly what their schedule is. The New Orleans Saints football schedule. Alright, so the Saints got left next week. The Broncos, the Falcons, the Eagles. Okay, and then they finish, and then they got the Chiefs, and then the Vikings and the Panthers. So I think the Saints at 4 is good, and Drew Brees might be able to come back, around playoff time, pretty fresh. So I like that too, and the way their defense is playing. All right, all 32. Let's recap all 32 here. Chiefs, Steelers, Rams, Saints, Bills, Packers, Colts, Titans, Bucks, Cardinals, Seahawks, Ravens, Raiders, Dolphins, Browns, Niners, Bears, Vikings, Panthers, Giants, Broncos, Chargers, Patriots, Texans, Lions, Falcons, Cowboys, Eagles, football team, Bengals, Jaguars, Jets. Those are my power rankings. Let me know what y'all